So yeah, the reason why I get off so much on wanting to just dominate a woman and treat her like a piece of property and basically devalue her and, not show any form of human decency, but instead completely act on inhumane behavior for the purpose of feeling a sense of domination and power is really because I'm so sick of the people who were women in my life that made me feel so powerless that now I need to feel like any woman I want. I'm going to be able to conquer and dominate so that they can feel the powerlessness that I felt from the women before them that I experienced. Because I'm a man. And I need to feel in power when I decide and choose what woman or women I want to have power over and conquer. And I don't care what position of mental and emotional distortion, destabilization, or stress that puts any woman in. The women before them didn't care about what it did to me. So now I'm going to treat every woman afterwards like an instrument till my heart is content and I can shift my perspective to the next target. That is how I'm gonna freely live my life. Karmically speaking. It's a free and full life. And I'm gonna live it up to the fullest. You sound bitter. And resentful. Just in general. Okay, let me get this straight. You see freedom in life as making other women feel powerless around you, mentally and emotionally. And maybe physically, God forbid. With whatever you decide to do interaction-wise to get them hooked onto your emotional grasp. To create such emotional and mental conflict within them. There's some illusionary sense of obligation that you hopefully, in your mind, create with them to make them feel obligated to you mentally and emotionally without you having to fully commit to actually devoting yourself to them. Without commitment, so that you can continue to live your life through feeling you've conquered, dominated, and have power over someone you never actually planned to pour into. All to continue to help you subside the actual pain you feel around feeling powerless in your life when you experienced women before them that may or may still not be in your life. Because you likely still feel powerless towards those specific women. That you're still actively inflicting the same pain onto other women for your personal gain to reconquer what you feel you don't have because of the previous encounters you may or may still not have in your life. So you're spreading the pain of powerlessness in women. Because as a man, you feel powerless when you encounter them. So you have to find ways to feel like you've conquered and dominated them. And that is what you see as free in your mind until you move on to the next. When you get what you want. Because you're going to treat them like an instrument of entertainment. Wow. That's not obsessive controlling at all. That's psychopathic kind of, actually, almost. In its own way. Exactly how do you get them in your grasp, exactly? Because I'm assuming you put on a facade and a front, probably a two-faced front, I'm assuming. Because ain't no woman in her right mind would ever step into a terrain like this unless there was a really good, well thought out facade performed in front of them in order for them to even fall for it. Especially the ones who aren't experienced in life to recognize people who are seasoned in this kind of mental work. So exactly what do you do? Well, I gain their trust through gifts, and I gain their trust through empty promises I never plan to fulfill. And if I do fulfill them, I do it for a set period of time until I can feel like I have them wrapped around my finger, to then begin to act like I've come up short, until she eventually starts to lower her standards without realizing she's lowering her standards, because I've built up enough manufactured trust with her to be able to then slowly break down her values and standards that she originally came into the connection with me with, in order to be able to then hopefully get her to start to begin to build her decisions in life around what I want, through these subtle forms of shifts that I decide to do with her. That's how I do things. And if I have to use money to show I'm stable, even if she's not actually obsessed with the financial position and the connection, I'm going to do what I can to prove that I'm stable even through money, despite me having my own forms of investments that she may not even be aware of herself, that don't actually make me stable. Because quite frankly, I like living in the moment. So I hide the fact that I'm destabilized in that, because I like to invest into a lot more distractions than into building anything for a future. But obviously that's one of the empty promises, obviously, which is obviously giving the interpretation I'm seeking to build a future, when really I just want to live a double life. I want to have my cake and eat it too, and when I want what I want, I get what I want. But I'm not going to tell her that. I'm just going to put on a facade that I'm stable, safe, and that I can take care of her. You know, until I decide to start to leave her in my own way without actually emotionally and mentally leaving her, so that she still feels obligated to me, while stuck in a state of confusion on whether or not things are still stable and normal. And then I'm going to leave her there until I decide to show back up. Basically putting her on the shelf for me until I decide I want to revisit, to recharge around the same person I don't plan to actually let go. Just keep on a leash or a hook until I decide I'm bored and want to find something better in my eyes that is easier to grip on. And then discard when I notice that she's trying to make me evolve as a person. Because I don't want to heal. I don't want to grow. I want to stay exactly where I am. This is freedom to me. And no woman is going to take that freedom from me. I'm free. I'm not powerless anymore. I have the power now. No woman will take that from me. This is true power for a man. And I'm going to keep my manhood.